Hey, what's up guys? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'm starting a new series. You know, one of the things I just absolutely love about Magic, especially starting out here, is drafting. I love drafting. I feel like it puts everybody on sort of an even playing field, but there are chances to get amazing cards out of the gate in a pack and surprising opponents with them, and just really using your skills and your wits to create a deck and to win with the deck. And so today I thought it'd be fun to just open up some draft booster packs and see what we get, and then pick the order of which I would pick the cards out of the pack. So like, if I were to open up a certain pack in a booster draft, what cards would I take out of the pack? I think that'll be a lot of fun. It's really great, sort of a thought exercise too, just to think about, what would I take out of the pack? And then of course grow the collection a little bit, pack by pack. So this is episode 1 of this new series. Hopefully you guys are going to stick with me on this one, and I'd love to hear your opinions too. If you disagree, I'd love to hear why. If I missed something, or put something too high, let me know, and I'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you agree, that's always great to hear as well. So enough of me. Let's turn the camera around and check out our very first pack. Well, here we are, our very first booster pack from the series Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. We just got past our packs. Let's open it up and see what we get. See a great card right off the top. I'm going to dump the token and the islands because that's what we usually do. And let's see what we get in this pack. So, Spoils of the Hunt. That's pretty good. Dueling Rapier, I would say, is definitely okay. Bar of the Gate, if you're in blue, if you're unlucky enough to be in blue, that might work. Half-Elf Monk. Ooh, that would be a moderate take. So would be Hired Hex Blade. I'd actually take the elf over that. Bold Strength. That's a really good green combat trick. Vampire Spawn, one of my favorite cards. Gives you a really nice bump in life and them a dip in life. And it's a 2/3. Ambushed on a Road. Cheap, but not my favorite. Frost Giant. That's a really nice big blue creature with Ward 3. Mimic, definitely one of my, would be a later pick sort of a thing. Moon Blessed Cleric, not bad. 3/2. Skullport Merchant, also, actually this guy is pretty good. We got a Red Dragon, and we've got the Loyal Warhound as the rare in this pack. So, let's try to figure this out. Maybe let's put these cards down on the playmat. That might make it easier. Okay, let's just lay these cards out right here so that we know what we have. And let's move these up a little bit. Alright, so here are our cards that we can draft from. And if I had this pack of cards to look at and draft from, oh man, I think there are some definite cards that I would want out of this deck. First of all, the strongest deck, I feel like, in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms is red-black. And so those are the cards I would be primarily looking at first. And so cards I like out of this are Red Dragon, Vampire Spawn, and the Skullport Merchant. I think these 3 cards would be one of my top picks, and then of course the Loyal Warhound as the white rare. I think if I was getting this, I mean, I do like the white card, the Loyal Warhound. It has Vigilance, and when it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, search the library for a basic plant. So it kind of helps you ramp a little bit if you're behind. And it's really nice if you get Loyal Warhound early in the game, like in your opening hand. But, I mean, is it going to be better than the Red Dragon? The Vampire Spawn? I mean, I like the Skullport Merchant, but he's a 1/4, so he's more of a wall to me. I think if I had to choose, I would take Red Dragon first out of this, because it's the flyer, it's a 4/4 for 6, and it can do damage. So I think Red Dragon would definitely be the first pick. It's in the air, and I just love that it can deal 4 damage to the opponent right when you play it. So that's like a nice immediate effect. Plus it's flying, which makes it something that's relatively hard to deal with. If the Red Dragon was out of the cards in this pack, I think the next card I would go for, I think I would pick Vampire Spawn. I just think a 2/3 is really good. And it's in a great color. It's in black, which is one of the top colors. Vampire Spawn has always done really well for me. If I see Vampire Spawn, I feel like I'm going to draft him. I think better than Loyal Warhound. I think so. Now I'm gonna think about. I think those were like my 2 best. Then I'm gonna actually have to think about Spoils of the Hunt if I'm doing like a green deck. Like I said, if this is the first pack I'm taking, I think the next card would actually be. I think I would go Spoils of the Hunt. It's a really nice removal card, and green doesn't have a ton of removal. The removal always sort of targets a creature and then targets your opponent's creature. So I like Spoils of the Hunt. After that, I think it would be either Skullport Merchant or the Loyal Warhound. And in my case, I would take Skullport Merchant before Loyal Warhound. The reasoning is I'm most likely wanting to be in black more than I would want to be in white. And it's awesome, 1/4, so it's a really nice defender. When it enters the battlefield, you get to create a treasure token. And if you sacrifice for 1 and a black, another creature or treasure, you can draw a card. So I feel like there's so much utility in the Skullport Merchant. I would say that would be my next pick. And then finally, the rare, the Loyal Warhound, would be 5th pick for me in that pack. So far, Red Dragon, Vampire Spawn, then Spoils of War, Skullport Merchant, and then the Loyal Warhound. Okay, moving on. I think there are clearly some cards I think are pretty decent in here. What would I take next if those were out of the equation? I think the strongest card here would have to be Bull's Strength. I love that it's an instant. It makes a creature gain +2/+2 and trample, and you get to untap that creature. That's a really powerful effect. So Bull's Strength, if I were in green, I would love to have Bull's Strength in my deck. Next up, I do value creatures over artifacts typically, and so the Half-Elf Monk has actually done a lot of work in games that I've played. It has Vigilance, it's a 1/4, so it's a really nice defender, but the Stunning Strike for 1 and a white and tapping the Half-Elf Monk, that can actually tap a target creature, and you can actually keep one of their creatures on lockdown big time. So Half-Elf Monk has had tons of utility for me. I like the Half-Elf Monk quite a bit. After that, I think I will go Dueling Rapier. For an equipment card, one of the things that is terrible about equipment cards is that they cost so much to equip. Like, if this was on the table, you'd have to pay 4 to equip it to something, which is ridiculous. That's just so much, and all you get is a +2/+0. not great. However, this can flash in for just 1 red and then it just auto attaches to a creature you have. I think that makes this card a lot better than some of the ones I've left on the table here. So Dueling Rapier is coming up next. After that, we're going to have to go Rimshield Frost Giant. Blue is really weak, like I had mentioned. This is the first blue card that we're taking and coming next. But it's a 4/5, a big, beefy blue creature with Ward 3. Every time I see this and I'm like, I want to get rid of it with a removal spell, that Ward 3 just makes it really difficult to do. So, Rimshield Frost Giant, when they hit the table, I really hate it because I feel like I need another big beefcake of my own in order to get rid of the Rimshield Frost Giant. So, really hefty card, hard to get rid of. After that, we'll go with the Hired Hex Blade. Hired Hex Blade, it's a 2-drop. It's a 2/2 for 2. I'm never super stoked about Hired Hex Blade, but the nice thing about it is if you're in a treasure-heavy deck, which Skullport Merchant can help you with and other black or red cards can help you with, this actually helps you draw a card at the cost of a life. So early game, I think Hired Hex Blade helps you kind of establish your board state. Later game, it helps you draw a card. I think next we'll put Moon Blessed Cleric. And Moon Blessed Cleric is... I put him way down here because I rarely would use Moon Blessed Cleric. What this does, when it enters the battlefield, you get to search your library for an enchantment card. But the thing is, you reveal it and then shuffle and then put that card on top. It doesn't even go into your hand. So this would be great for grabbing class cards or really good enchantments like Teleportation, Circle, or Cycle, or whichever card that is. But it goes on top of your deck, so it just... I don't know, it just makes it a little clunky to use. Next, I would pick Bar the Gate, and I think Bar the Gate is a really pretty cool card. It lets you, it's instant, and it also counters a target creature or planeswalker, and then you get to venture the dungeon. But these cards, first of all, it's in blue, and then you have to have the mana saved up for it. And I just find that in this format, you know, this drafting format in Dungeons & Dragons, the game moves fast, and using Bar the Gate, it does work. I've used it, and it's been used against me effectively, but I just definitely wouldn't pick it very high. Lastly, we have your Ambushed on the Road and Mimic, and I think these can go either way. I don't think either are very good. Your Ambushed on the Road, it's an instant, only costs 1. Return target creature you control to its owner's hand. So, like, I mean, you can get a card back in, so maybe they block, you can block and then send them back. Saves the creature. They can also get +1/+3. That's an okay combat trick, however, I just don't think you're gonna... This card rarely makes the cut after a bunch of other cards. And the Mimic costs 2 for an artifact treasure. You can sacrifice it to get a mana of any color, so it has to be sacrificed to get that. Or it can become a shape-shift creature until the end of turn, a 3/3 creature. I just haven't had any success with Mimic. I feel like there's other cards you can use that are better. Again, maybe its clunkiness is what I don't like about it. So I've separated up into 3 rows. The top row are the cards I feel like the cream of the crop. So this pack had 5 cards that I think would be great to pick. And then we had 7 cards that were just like so-so, although I think Bull Strength would be a great card to get in a green deck. And then 2 cards I could really just do without. And I feel like these cards you would see at the end of a draft just left aside and not taken because they're just the cards that nobody really wants in the draft. So let me know what you think. Would you draft it the same way, or would you switch any of the positions? Let me know. I'd love to know how you would position these cards. What would you do if this was your draft pack? Thanks for watching this, and I will see you next time.